The issue of religious liberty was brought before the Supreme Court this week. In 2018, the city of Philadelphia stopped allowing foster children to be placed with families working with Catholic Social Services and refused to renew its contract with the agency unless it denied its beliefs regarding marriage and same-sex parents. Catholic Social Services and 3 foster parents sued the city, arguing it had violated their constitutional rights. Joining me now to discuss this landmark case is the attorney who argued it before the Supreme Court on Wednesday. He's a member of the Becket Fund legal counsel. Please welcome Nick Reaves to the program. What does the case mean, Nick, to Catholics and other religiously affiliated organizations that receive federal money and work with cities and states to provide services, such as, in this case, foster care?
This is a crucial case for all religious social service providers, and we saw that at the Supreme Court yesterday. The justices were asking hypothetical questions about Catholic hospitals and Catholic homeless shelters, and they understood the implications of this case for religious ministries across the country, and they seemed troubled by the fact that the city tried to close down what was clearly a successful foster care agency over a hypothetical dispute.
In 2018, a lower court ruled that Philadelphia's anti-discrimination measures were applied uniformly, meaning that Catholic Social Services religious rights were not entitled to an exemption. Why do you argue that this is not the case?
There are 2 different arguments we make here. The first is that under current Supreme Court precedent, what the city is doing is it's applying one law to Catholic Social Services and to the families it partners with, and it's applying a different law to itself. It's saying the city, we can make decisions as the city that might discriminate against somebody based on their disability or based on their family status, but we're applying a different law to you as a religious organization, and we think that's a real problem under the First Amendment. And the second argument we make is that the legal standard is wrong. It's not sufficient for the government to be able to burden a religious belief with a neutral law. The First Amendment actually gives affirmative protection to organizations and individuals exercising their First Amendment rights.
And we should say the heart of this case is this foster care agency, a Catholic one, allowing same-sex couples to adopt children, which violates Catholic teaching. And so that really is at the heart of this case. But if an unmarried couple or a same-sex couple comes to this agency, it will help that couple find a match from among 29 other nearby foster agencies that provide the same services. So what is the difficulty here? Why do you think Catholic Social Services has been singled out here? They've been providing foster care for almost 200 years.
That's exactly right, and I think the justices shared the same concerns. They clearly were trying to find a way to protect Catholic Social Services and their First Amendment rights while ensuring that same-sex couples could still foster in Philadelphia. And there are about 30 different private agencies, 3 of which have special certifications for expertise in serving LGBTQ families. So the justices were asking the city questions about why they needed to kick out a really successful religious agency when their claimed interest was in helping same-sex couples foster. Justice Alito cut through that and said, I don't really think your interest is in helping same-sex couples. It's really about discriminating against the Catholic Church.
I'm going to read the quote. He said, in fact, it's the fact that the city can't stand the message that Catholic Social Services and the Archdiocese are sending by continuing to adhere to the old-fashioned view about marriage. Now, Sharonell Fulton, who is one of the foster parents filing this case with Catholic Social Services, whose name is on the case, she had this to say about the city of Philadelphia. She said, my faith has led me to become a foster mother to children that society had abused and discarded. As a single woman of color, I've learned a thing or two about discrimination over the years, but I never experienced the vindictive religious discrimination the city's politicians have expressed toward my faith. What is at stake should this case go against Catholic Social Services? Why is it important to the activists on the other side?
I think the real on-the-ground impact is summed up by individuals like Sharon Fulton. Her home is sitting empty today. She's served foster children in Philadelphia for over 25 years. She's cared for over 40 children in partnership with Catholic Social Services. And her home is empty today because of the city's actions. No same-sex couple has ever been prevented from fostering or adopting by Catholic Social Services. So if the agency were forced to close, we'd only be losing loving homes for kids in need.
How are the children in the system hurt by this and this decision?
The city of Philadelphia has said that there are about 300 children who could be placed in foster homes today. And there are empty beds in Catholic Social Services foster homes now. So these kids, these 300 children, many of them could be with a loving family like Sharon Fulton or Tony Sims Bush, who's another plaintiff in this case, but instead are stuck in a group home or in institutional care, and neither of those are as good as a foster home with a loving parent.
The Supreme Court in recent years has supported LGBT rights in a series of landmark rulings, including one this past June, protecting gay and transgender employees from workplace discrimination. Your thoughts on how that might affect this case? And I want to read you one thing that Justice Alito raised, and he read Justice Kennedy's majority decision, the gay marriage decision, Ogerfeld, and he stresses the need for accommodations in that decision among those who hold conflicting views on same-sex marriage. Might that be the saving grace here for you and your clients at the Supreme Court?
I think multiple times yesterday the Supreme Court recognized the need to balance allowing same-sex couples to foster and adopt and ensuring that everybody can care for kids in need in our diverse, pluralistic society, but also protecting crucial First Amendment rights that are at issue in this case. So I do think that's going to be kind of the heart of the issue that the Supreme Court is addressing.
I know Justice Amy Barrett, this was her first case that she's heard. What was it like arguing before her? I know she asked, what if there was an agency who believed that interracial marriage was an offense against God and therefore objected to certifying interracial couples as foster families? What did you think of that interaction and question?
Amy Barrett seemed very well prepared for the case and had good questions and seemed to have thought deeply about it despite going through that crazy confirmation process.
Okay, we will leave it there. Nick Reaves, thanks so much for being with us. Follow the great work at the Becket Fund on behalf of religious freedom at becketlaw.org. Thank you.
Thank you.